Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nadira. Welcome back to It's Never Too Late. If you do not know, my channel is here to be an encouragement, to share the love of Jesus Christ, to share my journey, my story, and to let you all know that no matter where you are in your life, no matter what past you had to overcome, that God is not done with you and that there's so much more to your story and it's not too late. I'm here to be a voice for the unborn children. I'm here to fight for life and I'm here to stand for the truth of what is right. So I thank you all to my returning subscribers. Thank you to my new subscribers. And I'm excited. If you all do not know, we have hosted It's Never Too Late testimony series, and I am excited about it. I'm excited for what God is doing. I am excited for the testimonies that will come forth on this channel, giving all the glory to Jesus Christ for what he has done. And this has just been something that the Lord has put on my heart for some time now, to allow people to come on and share what he has done for them, just to give others hope in who Jesus is and hope that there's no past too far gone. There's nobody that's too far deep that God cannot pull out. So I want you all to email me. Go back and watch my first video, but email me your video or write out a snippet of just your testimony, because I want to hear it. There's power in your testimony. There's power when you declare what the Lord has done for your life, just to show the power of his love and to give hope and help and encourage someone else that may be going through what God has brought you out of. So email me, and I want you to share what the Lord has done, because I want to hear it. I personally want to hear what the Lord has done. So I said, listen, we're going to host a testimony series. Why not have me as my first guest? I'm going to share what God has done in my life, my testimony of how the Lord has redeemed, restored, and healed what I thought was lost and broken. God has restored and healed me. So I'm going to get started I'm going to fast forward a little bit, but in 2019, I found out that I was pregnant. And this pregnancy was not part of the plan. I did not want to be pregnant. I know what I did. I understand what happened, but it was not part of my plan. I had already got an abortion in 2017, and I just was not in the best place to have another child. I wasn't in the right mental place to have another child. I was involved with their father for going on 10 years at the time, and I was very much broken. I didn't have an identity. I didn't know my voice. I was very lost. And when I got my abortion the first time, I knew that it was wrong. I felt the conviction when I went to the Planned Parenthood. I knew, I just had a knowing, and I believe that was the Holy Spirit. I just had a knowing that the decision that I was about to make was murder. I knew that I was going to be taking the life of an innocent child, but I just pressed away everything that I felt. I pressed away of that conviction, and I just went forth and I did it anyway. I was about 6 weeks pregnant, and I went in there and I kept going back and forth with my decision. I kept saying, no, I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, well, I have to do it. And I kept trying to weigh out my reasoning, right? Knowing that there's never a reason to terminate a child, ever. There's never a reason to get rid of innocent life. But I did it anyway. And I remember that following day, I had to take the pills. They give you 2 sets in the office. And then I had to take the remaining 2 sets 24 hours later. And I remember when I took the last 2 sets, I just, I sat there and I just was like, Lord, I felt the conviction. I felt the weight of what I just did. I felt the guilt. I felt the shame. I felt the embarrassment. I knew, because I knew what I did was wrong prior to making that decision. But in my mind, I thought it had to be done, right? I had to go forth with this, because if I didn't, then what's going to happen with my life, right? I tried to make up every scenario of why, but there's never a reason why to terminate innocent life. And I just had to sit in it, right? I had to sit in how I felt. I had to sit and the questions and the guilt and the shame, and just even going back and forth of feeling like, why did I do this? I should not have done this. And I had that night, I said out my mouth, I made a vow. I said, Lord, I will never get another abortion again. And I don't care what the circumstance is, I will never do this again, because the weight was so heavy on my heart. The weight consumed me so bad. I said, I can't go through this again. I can't. And that was in 2017. July of 2017. So fast forward, I'm still involved in this relationship. It's still very much toxic. It's still unhealthy on both sides. I have experienced verbal, mental, emotional, financial abuse, and I just could not leave. I tried year after year. I would tell myself, I'm done, I'm not going back. But they say, is even in the word, when you leave, the enemy comes back 7 times stronger. And every single time I tried to leave, I feel like it was getting worse and worse and worse. So at this time in 2019, I was really trying to leave, right? I was like, I'm done. I'm over it. I gotta walk away from this relationship. Then I found out I was pregnant. And when I found out I was pregnant, I was very numb. I did not have any feeling besides disappointment. I was so disappointed in myself because I said, here we go again. You keep going through the same cycle over and over again. Now look at you. Now what is your life about to consist of, right? I felt so defeated. I said to myself, I cannot give birth to this baby. I said to myself that in 2017, if I had to compare, I was even it was even times 10. It was worse, right? It was worse not only in my mind, it was worse in the natural with, being able to provide for one. I'm like, I had my son at the time. My son was 4 at the time when I found out I was pregnant. And I was like, I cannot do this again. I cannot go through raising another child by myself. I can't provide for 2 children. I just can't do it. So I had said that I was going to get an abortion, because it was literally no way in my mind that I was going to be able to take care of 2 children and go through this again. I just couldn't do it. I just was like, I cannot do it. So they had closed the abortion clinics in Tennessee at the time. So I was going to have to go to Atlanta. And mind you, this was in 2019. I was going to have to go to Atlanta. And I called, got some information. And maybe this was in like maybe a 2 to 3 day time frame. And I just was contemplating what was I going to do, because I'm like, if I don't do this, everything is over for me. I'm already heartbroken. I'm already insecure. I already have went through so much abuse. I already don't know who I am. I'm already very insecure within myself as a mother. I already feel like I've hit rock bottom. It can't get any worse than this, right? So I'm like, and let alone bringing another child in this world, it's only going to get worse. And I couldn't do it. I was talking to people, and I was just, they was into support of whatever decision I made. And I remember I was sitting on my sister's couch, and I was just crying. I was crying because I was so frustrated that I was in this situation again, right? And I was like, I took a plan B, right? And I don't support them at all. But I'm like, I took a plan B. Why is this happening? I took it within the allotted time. I'm like, why is this happening? Why? Like, I don't want this. I don't want this to be my life. My life is not going to come out. Nothing good is going to come out of this. That's where my mind was at in 2019. And I remember sitting on the couch. And mind you, I had already called the abortion clinic in Atlanta. I got how much I was going to have to pay. And I was sitting on the couch crying out to the Lord. And I was just pouring my heart out. Pouring everything, every decision that even got me up to this point, every decision year after year that I said I was leaving and I will keep coming back, year after year that I was saying, Lord, I was giving you my all and I will go right back. Every year I was just going through, just crying out to God saying, I need your help. I don't know what to do. I can't do this on my own strength. And God brought back to my remembrance what I vowed to him in 2017. I vowed to God. I said this out of my mouth. That's why it's so important what we declare out of our mouths. It's so important what we come into agreement with, because God will hold us accountable for the words that we say. So the Lord brought back to my remembrance what I told him. And it came back to me so strong. And God was like, what did you tell me? You vowed that you would never do this again, no matter the circumstance. And here you are about to make a decision because of the circumstance. Here you are about to do exactly what you vowed to me not to do. And in that moment, I just had to sit in it. I'm like, well, Lord, I don't know. I don't know. I have nothing. I wrote out a couple days before, I wrote out my pros and my cons, and I found that paper probably about a year or two ago. But I wrote out my pros and my cons because, y'all, I was literally facing the impossible, right? It was nothing in the natural that I could grasp in my own mind that this was going to work out for my good. I just said, I'm sorry, I cannot. And it was in that moment that I was crying out to the Lord. And in my spirit, the Lord spoke to me and he told me, trust me, I got you. 5 words. 5 words, but it just held so much weight in that moment. And I knew I heard him. I knew it wasn't a thought of my own. I knew I wasn't tripping because I was distraught. I'm crying, snot, tears. And I heard the Spirit of God tell me to trust me, I got you. And it was in that moment I just had a comfort. I had a peace. I didn't know what everything was going to change. I didn't understand how I was going to be able to provide financially, emotionally, spiritually. I did not know. I did not even know. But all I knew was I heard what God said in that moment of despair. I heard what God told me when I was at my lowest, to trust me, I got you. And in that I said, okay, God, I trust you. I'm going to keep this baby. Let her be a girl, please. But I said, I trust you. And I believe that whatever is going to come out of my life, even though I don't know what it will be, even though I feel like everything is over for me, I believe that you are going to do something, because all you want me to do right now is trust you. And I did just that. I trusted God. I trusted God in my brokenness. I trusted God in my confusion. I trusted God in my worry. I trusted God in my broken heart. I trusted God in my feeling defeated and overwhelmed. I trusted God in my shame and my guilt. I trusted him in the unknown, because I knew that I literally hit rock bottom. I didn't have someone to run to. I didn't have someone to pull me out of the situation. It was literally between me, myself, and I. I put myself here. I made this decision. So now I was faced with feeling so that I couldn't come out of this. But God said, trust me, I got you. And y'all, I held on to that word. And God is so faithful, because he hears our prayers. He hears our cries. He understands the weight of it. God knew that was something I couldn't carry by myself. God knew that I was in a place of complete disparity, that I needed a touch from him. I needed a touch from him to change the trajectory of my life, for me to understand that he's with me. Didn't mean that it was going to be easy. Didn't mean that I wasn't going to have days. Didn't mean that I was going to have it all figured out. But it meant that I heard God, and that what he spoke to me, I trusted him in this process of my pregnancy. And that's why I believe that there's no life in the womb that God did not already form. There's no life in the womb that is worth being terminated. Every life is worth fighting for. And I'm going to be a voice for the children in the womb that cannot be a voice for themselves. I'm going to fight for the unborn, because they have a right. They have a right to be born. They have a right to live outside of the circumstances. They have a right. And I will continue to fight for those children in the womb, because they have a reason. They have a purpose to be birthed out. So I trusted God. That was all I had. was, trust me, I got you. That was all I had. I knew I was going to have to go through my pregnancy alone again. I knew that I was going to have to be the sole provider by myself again. I knew I was going to have to go through this process alone again. But it was a knowing that God wasn't going to leave me hanging and that he was going to be with me. And he has been with me every step of the way. That word was given to me in 2019, but God has carried me through the last almost 6 years of my life. My daughter was born healthy. My daughter was born in love. My daughter was born giving so much love. She's such a loving daughter. She's so loving. She's so special. And God knew that I needed her in this time. He knew that I was in such a broken place that he knew that she was the answer. Sometimes when we are faced at our lowest, that thing that we are toiling with, that thing that feel like it's going to break us, it's the same thing that once we birth that out, whether it's in the natural, but once you birth that thing on out, you will be able to see that it was part of God's plan all along. That one act of obedience opened up so many doors for me. That one act of obedience allowed God to truly heal me from the inside out. That one act of obedience allowed me to take the mirror off of everybody else and put the mirror on me and reflect and ask myself, well, how did I even get here? What decisions did I make? Taking accountability of the things that I've caused to even be in that predicament. And I had to thank God that if he carried me with my son, Josiah, if he has carried me with him, then he's going to carry me with my daughter, Amaya. And he has done just that. And God had to remind me that you thought it was too late for you. You thought everything was over. You thought your life wouldn't come out of what I wanted it to be. But I am a God of the impossible. That all you have to do is give me that part of you. All you have to say is, Lord, I'm facing this strong thing right now, and I don't have the strength to overcome it. I need you. That's all he wants, and he will get you through that. I didn't have a big old baby shower. My job gave me a baby shower. My sisters, I had a gender reveal, but I didn't have just everything. I didn't have what, the ideal, right, when you bring a child in the world. But what I did have is confirmation from the Lord to trust me, I got you. And that meant not just with carrying my child, that meant trust me, I got you for what your child needs. She has never went without. That meant trust me, I got you, that even when you got to figure out work and employment and babysitting, trust me, I got you. That mean that everything that they need, God has me, and he has kept his promise. He has kept his promise 6 years later. He has kept his promise that even when it's been hard, because it's been hard, it's not going to be easy, right? When we're faced with decisions that we get ourselves in, it's not going to be easy. We're going to go through some trials. We're going to have some rough places that we have to overcome, but you will get through. And I'm here to testify that I've been a testament of the promise of God, that 2019 is 2026. The Lord has kept his promise over my life, that yes, I may have got an abortion in 2017, but in 2019, I made up my mind that my body belongs to the Lord. My heart belongs to the Lord. Everything, my soul belongs to him. And I have to allow him to heal those wounds in my heart for me to get to where I am today. You never know how strong you are if you don't surrender that thing to the Lord. You never know what you can come out of if you stay in the same thing that broke you. So God had to allow my brokenness to birth out this. He allowed my brokenness, my hurt, my confusion, my decisions to birth out is never too late. And that's why I'm here. That's why the testimony series is going to be birthed, because it's in the stories of what God has done in people's life like myself, that it will give someone hope on the other side, that if God have healed, restored, redeemed, I am forgiven. I have forgiven my children's father. I have forgiven him. I pray for him. I intercede for him because I want the Lord to go into his heart. I have forgiven everyone involved. And I'm continuing to heal. I'm continuing to become better. I'm continuing to become whole. And I want God to deliver me in totality of everything. And in the meantime, I will continue to declare what he has done in my life. I will continue to share my testimony because there's always going to be someone who needs it. I'm going to continue to fight for the children in the womb because I understand the value. I understand that we were created in the image of God and every life deserves to be born. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And God has been doing what God does. God has been going ahead of me, even when things may have went ways I did not want, even when things I had to sit down in some areas. God has been with me. He has been with me and he will be with you. So I want you all to continue to trust God even in the hard place. My sister, my sugar plum, she says all the time, we can do hard things. You can do hard things with God. You can do hard things with a made up mind that you will come out better. You will come out stronger. You will come out wiser. You will come out more determined. But you have to have a made up mind to be better. Even if it's just you, right? When God dealt with me, it was just me. It was just me and my kids and the Lord. But I held on to his word. I held on to his promise because I said, Lord, I know I will get through this. And I hear my sister's voice when it's times and it's things we may go up against and I feel like it's opposition. I hear her say we can do hard things because we can. You can do hard things. It doesn't mean it won't be like that always. Joy will come in the morning. And I believe that every promise that the Lord has spoken over my life, I will see it. It will be exceedingly abundantly above all I can ever think or imagine. And I'm going to go forth. I'm going to soar. I'm going to continue to keep my eyes on Jesus because I know in him, with him, he can do a miraculous thing speedily. So you share what the Lord has done. And I'm just grateful that even when I think about it, I'm like, God, this is only by your hand. I never could have imagined I will be where I'm at today. Just 6 years ago, I was crying and heartbroken, lost, confused, full of shame and guilt. But look how God will rewrite your story. Look how God will rewrite parts of your story once you surrender those parts to him. Because he's already the author and the finisher of our faith. We just have to give him our heart. We have to give him those parts that seem so hard that we have carried for years. And he will meet you right where you are at. So I pray that my story encourage you, someone that is facing the decision of an abortion. I'm here to tell you to keep your child. I'm here to tell you that it's purpose not only in your child, but it's purpose in you. And I'm here to tell you that once you birth out your child in the natural, God is birthing something in you in the spirit. It's so much more that the Lord is going to do. It's so much more that God is going to equip you with. But you have to trust him. So fight for your life. Stand for your child. Go to one person, Jesus. He will get you through. He will get you through. So let my testimony encourage you that it's purpose in your pain. God has a strategy that's like no other. And he continues to blow my mind how things are divinely coming together in my life. Just off of one yes. Off of one, God, I will trust you. Off of one, yes, God, I'm going to hold your hand through this process. So don't give up on God and trust him even in the hard place because we can do hard things with God. So I thank you all. I thank you all so much. I pray that the testimony series that's to come, it will bless you. I want to hear from you. I want to see your comments. And I want these testimonies to do it. And I want these testimonies to do something in your spirit for you to walk away, for you to heal, for you to give Jesus everything that you have, for you to understand that there's no battle too hard for God. I want these testimonies to really empower you to walk in who God has always called you to do, always called you to be. So I thank you all. Thank you all. I am the first guest on my channel and I'm excited. I'm excited. Do not hesitate to reach out to me. Email me. Everything will be linked in the description because I want to hear your story. And most importantly, somebody else on the other side needs to hear your story. So I thank you so much. This is episode 1 of It's Never Too Late testimony series, and God willing, we will be back for episode 2. So I love you all so much, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.